turns in one go. Well done, though.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
bang up job.
Tom said something.
Edit his comments out.
Let's try that one more
Oh
time.
my god.
Guardian ring.
No.
No.
Okay.
Fine, let's just do the show.
I'm your host, Joe Perry, here with my co-host, Janice Gubb, Tom Kokoza, and friend of the show, guest host, Brendan Johnson. How are you doing today, John?
I'm doing so good, guys. We're at Jordancon. This convention was awesome. I'm so glad that we came again and got to hang out with everybody, and I'm excited to talk about all the fun panels and things we did this weekend.
Indeed. Tom, how are you doing?
I'm also doing well, Joe. As I mentioned to some people who were here before you officially kicked off, Jordancon itself has ended, but obviously the activities continue with us recording down.
Brendan.
I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good.
Brendan, what was your favorite part of Jordancon, being a non-book reader?
All the times people asked if in panels if anyone there hadn't read the books, and I raised my hand and I was the only one. It felt like a complete weirdo.
Yet you continued to raise your hand.
I kept hoping there would be someone else, but there wasn't.
You might be the only person here who has not read any of the books.
Except like hotel stuff.
Except for maybe like people's wives. That's all 100% who are here.
Right.
Just going.
Maybe a Brennan.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people at the hotel.
I have to say, one of the mornings when I came back and my room was clean, everything was fine except the Lord of Chaos was just on the ground. So they might not be sorry to see the back of us. People are the stupid books here.
We went out to eat at one of the local establishments on
Yesterday?
yesterday, and no, it wasn't then. It was the day before, and they were like, "Yeah, when is it over again?" That was her answer. So I was like, "Oh, okay." Sorry.
Not soon enough, apparently.
Yeah. Another couple of days.
Well, yesterday when we went out to dinner too, we were talking to the waiter or something
Oh,
about
he
it.
just told us
And
flat.
he's like, I'm good. I'm not going to read any of that. Even the TV show, he was kind of dismissed. He was honest now.
Well, he said he was more of a Lord of the Rings fan. When we told him there was a Lord of the Rings show coming in, he dismissed it at that too. He did not want to hear from us, period.
No.
Like normal people, which is fine.
It's been a long and exciting and eventful weekend for sure. We all got to do panels, Jen, Tom, and I, separate panels. Tom, your panel, you did, well, I'll start with Jen. You did episodes 5 and 6,
Yes.
right? So what, on that panel specifically, was there a favorite part of it or a favorite thing that you talked about that somebody brought up?
Keep in mind that some people from the panel are here.
No, honestly, I think I like that all of the show panels kind of did it differently. So our panel in particular kind of spoke about the themes that kind of arc over the 2 episodes 5 and 6. So I kind of like, it's not the way we usually talk about the show, and it was at the beginning when we started talking about it, I was like a little bit, am I out of my element here? But I feel like the more we talked about it and the more we got the crowd going and got into it, it was actually a really interesting way to take on the episodes.
Yeah, for sure. Your panel was awesome, and I think I was at a couple of different show panels, and it was interesting because there were different approaches to every one of them. So it was kind of interesting to get different variety, especially since we're just used to hearing ourselves talk about them. For sure. How about you, Tom? You did episodes 107 and 108.
That's true. So, I mean, I really like doing the panel. There was a lot of concern because, like, apparently the con believed that nobody liked episode 8, and they were concerned that people were going to take the opportunity for us doing a panel to voice that. Well, I think that they were right in the fact that apparently episode 8 landed a lot harder amongst the general community than I think it did in our show. The panel itself, I think, went really well. And I guess one of the ways that we counteracted the opportunity for people to voice themselves is that we were like, the panel is an hour. We will talk for an hour, and then say, "I'm sorry." and that's what we did. I also thought it was like we had a curveball. It was a good curveball, but we had prepped with like one panelist that was on our panel. It was like an optional person, and we didn't know they were going to be there. They weren't really involved in a lot of the prep, and then they were there, and I thought they were good, and I thought it was interesting, but it really was like, oh, okay, and so like we didn't necessarily get to talk about everything that we wanted to talk about because we had extra topics go in, and then I saw that happened like 3 3 or 4 other times here this weekend.
It happened on my panel. We had an unconfirmed person who was never on any of the emails we got, and then he showed up to the panel, and I was like, oh, how you doing? And then, you know what? He was an awesome guest,
Yes.
Michael Monet. Mame, I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. He was a great guest, though, and he had a lot of great opinions and thoughts about that. So, yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. What was your favorite panel that you got to not participate in, but see?
I'm not going just to not be, I guess, too much of a homer. I'm going to exclude the panels that you two are on. And one thing that was different this year than the last year that we went is that there were late night panels, after dark panels, if you will. And 2 of them I went to last night that were both really, really good. There was Watchinary Live,
Oh my God.
which I'm not even going to say anything. If you have not experienced it, if you don't know what happened, you need to find out. Okay? And then following on that, Tarvalon After Dark, they did a live panel that was unbelievable. And again, I don't want to spoil that for you, at least not here too much. I'll talk about that one more, because I think there's more pictures from the first panel. Tarvalon After Dark did their own version of Fuck, Marry, Kill, which was Igloo, Bond, Balefire, and it was as after dark as it could be. Brendan, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I think I was that Friday night when I went to bed at like 6:30. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we went to bed at 8:30. So,
8:30.
yeah, those two panels, just because they were new experiences for me with Jordancon, were both a hell of a lot of fun.
What about you, Jen? What was your favorite panel?
I very much enjoyed the 2 that Tom just mentioned, and I am not a paid shill, but I really loved the Michael Livingston panel where he talked about his new book coming out, Origins of the Wheel of Time. Did not know anything about it until Joe said, I'm going to this panel, and I went, and it was amazing. He's going to reveal who Nakomi is, but he's got access to like every single note that Robert Jordan ever wrote down that they saved, and it sounds like it's going to be an amazing book. So I pre-ordered it. Everyone should pre-order it.
Yeah, I think that might have been my favorite panel too. You know, he went into, he read actually 2 little excerpts from the book, which was awesome, and you know, he emphasized how nobody held back anything. He had access to everything. He had access to the notes that are in the college. He had access to notes that weren't in the college. He had access to Brandon, to Maria, to Alan, to Harriet, to Tom Doherty, to everybody he could. And you know, he would check in with them and be like, "Is it okay if I talk about this?" And they every time, go ahead. He said he never got a no, like don't talk about this. So I think it's going to be really awesome to find out a lot of behind the scenes stuff that went on, and kind of origins of some of the characters and stories and themes in the book, and like the revelations of things like Nakomi and things like that. Definitely very excited. And Jen and I actually met him this morning. He's a very nice guy too, so we're very excited. I pre-ordered the book while I was at the panel. So yeah, I think that might have been one of my favorites. The After Dark stuff was good. Watchinary was just, oh my god.
Yeah.
It was absurdly awesome.
Yeah.
In the beginning, everything was going wrong, but the Leapcast brothers made it work. They kept everybody entertained and engaged, and it was just, it was hysterical.
Yeah, they're some of the funniest people that I think I've ever met. They're so cool. Before we get a chance, Joe, you didn't get a chance to talk about your panel, and what was your favorite part of it?
Before that,
I
like a non-real-time person, like you came to the panels that we came to, some of them. Was there a panel that you were like, that was like, oh, this is actually good, considering I don't really care.
Well, I went to, most of the real-time panels I went to were Shirley. Like I went to all the Airhead panels. But the one this morning, the top 10 moments, where the panels tried to arrange the top 10 moments out of the top 15 that were voted on by everybody. Once I figured out what they were doing, because the rules weren't entirely clear.
Yeah. It was like a Wordle theme.
It was like they had to arrange them in the right order.
Yeah.
That ended up being a lot of fun, even if it did really hammer home that I still don't understand this fan base at all. All of the stuff that didn't make, like 4 of the 5 things that didn't make the top 10 would have been in my top 10, and yeah. There's nothing from episode 8, which remains my favorite episode, even though people have been yelling at me all weekend and it sucks. But that was a lot of fun. Yeah, and your guys' panels were, yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, so I got to do a panel today on season 2 speculation, which was right up my alley. We had a great list of panelists. It was Jim from Fantasy of the Ages, Morgan from Podcast of the Dragon. We got Omar from Watt Series, and then Michael May, who I just met literally minutes before.
Are you trying to make Ben and I look bad by not, like the fact that we didn't mention people on our panel?
I don't know.
You didn't try, you just did.
I was gonna try.
Yeah, you just did it. Okay, thanks.
I think that was the highlight of my panel, though, was being able to chat with all those awesome people about it. And get their thoughts and
Makes
theories.
it worse.
Unlike you guys, who didn't care about
We didn't care, we didn't care about anybody.
Shit about those.
That was me, baby, me.
Hey, I'm just saying what my favorite part of my panel was.
So, I have a question about your panel.
Yeah.
You knew that was your panel coming in, you had a bunch of prep for it. Did things that happened at this year's Jordancon, information that was revealed, that changed your preparation?
Are you talking about the Friday panel where with the Q&A with the?
Yeah.
All right. So for those of you listening and who didn't know this, you might remember I've seen maybe a couple weeks before or a week before JordanCon. JordanCon was tweeting out, putting on social media forum that they were culling questions from fandom to send to Rafe that cast and crew could answer. They would pick some of those questions and answer the questions, and then they would present that at JordanCon. So that was on the Friday panel. It was the first panel, I think, of the whole convention. So there was a video. It was like a half-hour long. Go on JordanCon's YouTube page. You can watch the whole video. It's the same video that we saw at the con. I think actually people might have saw it before us because there was technical difficulties with getting it on the screen. But there was a lot of great information in there. We're not going to dissect all of it here. But one big thing was a casting announcement that Ayula Smart is playing Avienda.
Yeah.
We knew Ayula Smart was on the show because Watt Series had reported that. They weren't sure who she was playing. And I don't even remember what my guess was for her.
I think we guessed Avienda.
I don't think I guessed Avienda. But yeah, we have our Avienda. I remember tweeting it out. Literally, I was like, "Jet, tweet it out now." So we tweeted out. Yeah, that was pretty awesome getting our Avienda. And we also learned that they're obviously in Morocco still filming, and that they were filming in Falmo. That they were filming, and they were filming the battle. So we know we're getting Falmo. We know we're getting the battle. So I think that's pretty awesome, and I'm really excited about that.
I just have a quick question about the questions. Did either of you ask a question and did it get answered?
I did not ask a question.
I did. It didn't get answered.
Mine also did not get answered, and I asked about Steve. And Rafe refuses to tell us who the hell was Steve. I will continue to ask anytime I have an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly felt like any question that I would want answered, they were not going to answer. Because I wasn't going to ask, I felt like I wasn't going to ask their question, but they really did answer really detailed, I think, questions about the production, like costume choices, like character choices. So it was really good. If you haven't watched it yet, I think it's worth your time.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, well, it wasn't like, oh, but I liked it. It wasn't like canned cast and crew responses. Some of those things I think are.
We learned what Hamed said Loyal's theme song would be.
Yes, that's true. There was a video that was out a while ago that Daniel Henney put out about, and it was like Rosamund Pike was trying to throw something out without using her hands. And like
because the night of the garbage pail.
But we found the reason why in the video. So it looked to me at the time, I was like, weren't she just trying to prove that she could do this?
Yeah.
Apparently she misunderstood direction. So it's even better.
Yeah. There was some other good stuff. We learned that Daniel Henney mentioned that he was filming in Italy at one point. So
Yes.
we knew there was Italy filming. So we know him and Maureen are going to be filming. We're filming somewhere in Italy. I don't know where that is specifically in the show, but just another location, another, I guess, clue or tip to what they could be doing. I guess, but enough of us. We've got so many people here. I think I want to ask some people questions.
Sure, yeah.
All right, who we got here? Jim, you were on the panel with us today. Jim from Fantasy for the Ages. You've got nowhere to sit, Jim, so I'm just crouching down over your chin.
On your knees, Jim.
Can't be replicated.
What was your favorite part of JordanCon?
a great panel I saw with Joe Perry. No, honestly, the greatest moment was seeing all these people that so many of us have met virtually over the last year plus, and now flesh friends.
You picked the creepiest way to put it.
It's a thing, Brandon.
I didn't make that up.
I think I said that last year when I got here and it was on the Dusty Reel, and everyone was like, what?
So yeah, hands down, just being able to connect with all these people.
What was your favorite panel that you saw?
No, I can't. Oh man, there were a lot of really good panels. Favorite one I saw, I think honestly it has to be the one on adapting Wheel of Time. Yeah. There were things that were put out there that changed my perspective on stuff, and when a panel can change the way you think of something, that's a great panel.
Right there, that wasn't really good. They had people who actually have experience in television and things like that talking about decision making and stuff like that. So I thought that was actually a really excellent panel as well. What else do we have over here? Bob.
He just dismissed you?
I just
didn't say it.
There's so many people here. I gotta get around.
No, you don't want to talk to me.
Yeah, we.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
He's coming on. I'm coming on.
Oh wait, Rob's coming. Oh, Rob's gonna come over and sit by top.
Hot mic.
Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Rob. From the Weekly Village.
Oh, there we go.
And if you don't believe it, you're
I believe it. You're wearing the same shirt as Tom, right? Rob, tell us a little bit about your experience. Rob, tell us a little bit about your experience with Jordancon.
I think it's been awesome. Last year was my first tournament with a lot of everything happened. You know, and so this is like the first official real big time Jordancon, so it's been awesome to see like all the extra stuff that I missed last year. Karaoke was amazing.
Somebody was amazing at karaoke. Obviously.
Jen got robbed.
Yeah, wasn't it? Right?
Yeah, it was so fun. It was so fun.
I got to see some interesting things at the karaoke, so maybe not live, but yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, Cardinal and After Dark, that was an experience.
Yeah.
Like you said, and so it's been great. But my favorite part is like not necessarily panels, no offense or things, but just seeing everybody, hanging out with everybody, just like sitting around and talking all like. I mean, I think we went to bed at like 5 o'clock this morning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wait,
so
Rob,
it's
were
been rough.
you here when the possum?
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah. Somebody let loose a badger slash.
Hashtag awesome.
It was a possum. So cool. So yeah, it was crazy. I'm standing over there and all of a sudden little critter comes running across. I'm like, I've never seen one of those alive before. There's a little baby one. I saw a picture of Vance, that him holding it, so I don't know if he picked it up or.
I think Ian, right? Ian from the Wheel Reads, and I heard he was wearing a dress when he picked it up.
I saw that photo.
I didn't ask why he was wearing a dress. Does anybody know why?
He likes to wear dresses.
Oh, he was wearing it to the game.
And that was the second one of the night. And he just wanted to try to.
Oh, that's cool. I know, gosh.
Thinking
It's hospital reference. Hospital reference. 35 years ago. So, indeed, I get that.
What was your favorite panel?
I think my favorite panel was actually the episode 8 one that you were on because like I've actually I love hot take. I love episode 8 personally because like without spoiling anything, I love what they did with the ending. And like rather than look at it.
It's all podcast. You can spoil it.
Yeah, but there's people here that like I don't know if they
Just
so.
It's just me.
Well, yeah, because he wants to read the books. But yeah, so I love how they did the brought in over stuff and like where they were ending that episode. And then to hear like some stuff I never noticed before, like if there are 8 forsaken, and then there were actually 8 cracks in the seal, and so now I gotta go back and rewatch that. Like, oh darn. And so was so that was really enlightening because to hear from folks on their panel that like work in this element of the show, the production experience was really interesting.
Somebody else?
Yes, please do.
Thanks. Sure.
I called you out before, so come over there.
Before Sarah talks, I just want to say that me not being near a microphone for John's time to do some voice impressions is one of the greatest regrets of my life.
Having the full Jordancon experience this year because last year was a bridge version. Everyone says it, but the best part is always
Okay, besides all the people, we're all sick about hearing about the people. What was your favorite panel at least?
favorite panel, not to toot my own horn, but I actually really liked the other panel that I did with Melissa and to be
Okay, maybe let's not plug yourself so much. I'm just messing with you.
I actually really liked the music panel
I did too. It was awesome.
You guys really, I didn't think about the music at all that much. It was there for me. But I liked some of it, I didn't like some of it, whatever. But the zeal and the amount of research and thought that you put into behind like what they were trying to do with different tracks made me appreciate it more. Even tracks that I didn't necessarily like that much, I was like, okay, well now I see why they did what they did or what they were doing. So I give kudos to you and your fellow panelists.
But in that vein, I was going to say that I really enjoyed the adaptation panel as well because it really helped me. I don't have any experience in the industry, and so being able to get that perspective just really gives me an idea of, okay, maybe that's why they did certain things. It's just good to have that as a fan of
I want to ask your thoughts on the Avienda cast. Did you think she was Avienda when you guys had discovered that she was going to be on the show?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Did you know or you just thought?
No, I didn't know. I was just like, it's a 5'10" redhead. I mean, it looks like she's just gonna wing it. I'm very excited.
Anything else in that video that you saw? Was there anything else that kind of jumped out at you besides Avienda?
Daniel and Benny talking about Maddie and Zoe was hilarious. Like the annoyed dad, with this like, I'm not gonna have that bond. Zoe and
Yeah, he mentioned that they're like sisters and they made up their own language and he had a ride in the car with them and they were being like, it was like he was the dad and they were two little kids and they were just becoming like annoying to him. And, yeah, that was a good story. I forgot about that one too.
And of course, the garbage can.
You guys have anything you wanted to ask before
Well, maybe no, I'm good. No. I feel like you put us in positions where we're like, no, we don't want to talk to someone.
Oh, I'm sorry if you don't have anything to say. So. All right, let's get somebody else up here.
Sarah, thank you for all your work on series.